Hello my dear visitors, welcome to you at Easily English Solution. Today my student Sachin Kumar is once again going to present the topic Resources and Development, which is chapter number 1 of Geography Cbse class 10. Actually this is going to be the one of the best presentation of Sachin Kumar. So now I think that you will enjoy watching video from beginning to the end, and you will learn lots of things with your friend Sachin. Thanks a lot for coming here.
Hello my dear friends, welcome to the Easy English Solution, an easy way of learning. Today we are going to deal and analyze about the topic Resources and Development of Geography Lesson 1 Ncert Cbse class 10. In this video we will learn about the resources, its term and its actual meaning, its type and many more things related to this. Okay, now we are going to start this topic. First of all, we will understand the concept of resource and its meaning. So resource is all the things that are present in our natural surrounding and in our environment that can fulfill our requirements can be termed as a resource. A resource should be technologically accessible, economically feasible and culturally acceptable because these are the basic qualities of the resources. There exists an interdependent relationship between the nature, technology and institution that can create a successful cycle of transformation of materials which are available in our environment. Now we are going to discuss about the types and subtypes of resources one by one. Resources are divided at different levels on different bases. That is, on the basis of origin, resources are divided into two categories. The first one is biotic resource and second one is abiotic resource. All those resources that possess life came into a biotic resource, and all those who don't possess life came under abiotic resource. All the humans, flora, fauna are the examples of biotic resource, while all the rocks, metals, minerals, all these things are abiotic resources. Now on the basis of exhaustibility, resources are divided into two categories. The first one is renewable resources, means those resources which can get replenished after a use and we can use them again and again. For example, solar energy, wind energy, etc. And second one is non-renewable resource, means those resources which are used at a single time and we can't them use again and again, and these resources take millions of years in their formation. For example, all the coal, like fossil fuels like coal, petroleum, etc. are well known examples of the non-renewable resource. Now if we talk about on the basis of ownership, resources are of four categories. The first one is individual resource, means those resources that are owned privately by individuals. For example, the houses, plots in the urban areas. And now if we will talk about the community resource, so these resources are those which are used or owned by members of a community. For example, a pond or a village in rural areas or playground park in urban areas. Now all the resource around us which is either individual or community and which is present within the political boundary of a nation came under national resource, and except the things which came within the political boundary of a nation, the territorial water that is up to 12 nautical miles along the coastline of any country also came under a national resource, because all the things which came under these boundaries are national resource and government has also legal authority to access these if either they are individual or they are community. Now those resources which are owned by international authorities or international association are examples or are called international resources. For example, the oceanic beds which are beyond the 200 nautical miles of any country economic exclusive zone is the best example of international resource, and any individual has to take permission to access these international resources. Now on the basis of the status of development, resources are of four categories. The first one is potential resource, means those resources which are present in enormous quantity but their use has not been started. For example, the solar and wind energy of western part of India, that is Gujarat and Rajasthan, are well known example of the potential resources. And now if we'll talk about the developed resources, which are the second category of which are the second categories of those resources which are based on their status of development. So these resources are those whose technology of use is known and their use has also been started, because their quantity is surveyed and their quality and quantity is estimated. Okay, now all the things that have capability to fulfill the requirement of us, but we don't know an appropriate technology to access these, came under a stock. For example, hydrogen that can be used as the best fuel, but we don't have any appropriate technology to use it or access it. Now if we will talk about reserves, these reserves are the subsets of stock, means these these reserves are kept for the future generation use, means or use of the future generation, and these reserves means the technology to access these reserves is known but their use has not been started. So these are all about the types of resources and their subtypes. Now we will talk about the development of resources, which is a very interesting figure. So, as many humans thought that resources are free gift of nature, they used it indiscriminately, which led to the many global ecological crises. For example, global warming, ozone layer depletion, degradation of environment and its pollution. It has also divided, means the extensive use of the resources has also divided the society into two segments, that is in rich or in poor, because this depletion is resources can create a concentration of resources into the few hands, and which can divide the society. Now there is a need or there is a necessity to a planning, there is a necessity of a planning and the development of resources, because to live a sustainable quality of a life. Now we will talk about a such process of development that in which development takes place without harming the environment, means we are talking about sustainable development. This type of development make the existence, means in this type of development there is no harm to the society or environment, and we can make our economic acceleration. Now we will deal about two interesting figures, that is Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit and Agenda 21. So the Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit was the first international Earth Summit which was held in June 1992 in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. In this summit, more than 100 heads of the state met and signed a declaration on global and climatic change and biological diversity. Okay, they also aims to achieve the global economical development at the global level, and they also introduced an agenda, that was the Agenda 21. We will further discuss about the Agenda 21. So Agenda 21 was a declaration which was signed by the world leaders at Unicet and in Brazil in Rio de Janeiro. This agenda aims to achieve the global sustainable development in the 21st century. It also aims to beat all the poverty regions, all the epidemics, with a shared common mutual interest and share responsibilities. Okay, and there is an interesting figure about this Agenda 21, because it's demand a local Agenda 21 for every and each local government. Okay, now we are going to talk about the resource planning. As we know that the human beings used these resources indiscriminately, which has led to the various ecological crises. So resources planning is very essential, because there is a huge diversity in every region of the world in the terms of resources, because some region has abundance of some resources but they lacks or deficit in some resources. In India, the resource planning is carried out in three steps. The first one stage involves the mapping, surveying, qualitative and quantitative estimation. Means we can say that in the first stage only inventory and introducing quality of resources are introduced. In second stages, a technological plant structure is created on the basis of technology and a skill, and in third stage this resource planning is matched with the overall national development programs. Okay, now we will talk about how to conserve the resources, because due to the greed of few individuals there is a huge depletion in resources. So first of all, we should think and make our society aware about the uses of resources, their necessities and how they are essential to us, and how they can be conserved. Because our great leaders, and we can say that our great revolutionary like Mahatma Gandhi also suggested that he believed on the production by masses, not the mass production. So these are the some steps which can help in the conservation of resources. For example, first of all, the one of the most big step that we should be aware to conserve, how to conserve resources. And now in the next video we will make this chapter continue, and we will discuss about the other topics, that are the land resources, their utilization, their use, and many more. And next video will be interesting. So thanks for watching, and be where is earth.